Coming up in the news, the government taking a serious look at the country's building codes. Also, we will tell you how a group of architectural students getting an opportunity of a lifetime. And hear how the Rotary clubs on Grand Bahama are still on the ground 5 months post-Hurricane Dorian. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Wolfarkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Minister of State for the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Aaron Lewis, says that the government is taking a serious look at the country's building codes and the need to revamp and enforce codes that can mitigate the destruction of future powerful storms. This coming during a launch of the Small Home Repairs Program on Grand Bahama yesterday. Who can forget the images of the homes and buildings decimated throughout Grand Bahama and Abaco as a result of the strongest storm to hit the Bahamas? With an estimated cost of some $3.4 billion in losses and damage due to Hurricane Dorian, there has been a renewed call for the strengthening of the country's building codes. Minister of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Aaron Lewis, noting that based on empirical evidence, superstorms are likely to continue and intensify. He believes that stringent measures must be taken to mitigate the destruction of these types of storms.
The Bahamas, I emphasize, must focus on resilient measures to meet the challenges ahead of us. As a result of Hurricane Dorian, technical officers from both the public and private sector will review our building code so as to determine, with the application of international best practices and new technology, areas in the code that may require further enhancement. In reviewing the code and considering the storm surges attached to superstorms, it is likely that recommendations may arise with respect to no-build and restrictive buildings in areas or zones deemed dangerously susceptible to the worst type of flooding.
He adds that moving forward, the codes must be enforced, as he contends that the government will be more aggressive in ensuring that it is. Otherwise, he says, these efforts will be fruitless.
I have no doubt that hardening of our already strong code and renewed emphasis on inspections and rules enforcement, we will reduce the risk associated with superstorms across our archipelago.
The minister noting that he is satisfied that his new ministry's initiative, the Small Home Repair Program, will be available to assist those who need it most.
This initiative will assist those in need of resources to restore their homes to livable standards, which invariably will give rise to some economic development and normalcy in the zones.
In other news, a group of students getting an opportunity of a lifetime. The students are working with a group of students from a university in the Netherlands to find out ways to integrate some of their ideas and practices in the future development of Grand Bahama. Jamila Mizek has more.
The first group of architecture students graduating from the University of the Bahamas 5-year bachelor's program, engaging in an intensive workshop around the concept of building back better in Grand Bahama. Dean of the Faculty of Pure and Applied Sciences, Carlton Watson.
We reached out to international partners. We had a lot of interest, and we reached out to professors at the Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands. And we specifically reached out to them because they're recognized as the world leaders in terms of dealing with flood design, designing around floods, and mitigating against flood and architecture. Some of their programs are top 5 in the world. And so we thought that bringing our students with their students and our professors with their professors, this would be a very important and a good model for how we want to move forward in terms of response to Dorian for long term as well as the short and medium term.
Associate Professor at Delft University of Technology, Frans van de Ven, says they are taking a multidisciplinary approach by introducing the students to various disciplines.
We are here with a group of students, a so-called multidisciplinary project, with students from different disciplines, from civil engineering, from architecture, with different angles. to try and learn them how to work in a multidisciplinary environment, because the problems as we encounter here in the Bahamas are not to be solved by one single discipline. It needs a multidisciplinary approach where civil engineering merges with urban planning and design, and how it is to be integrated in the future development of the city.
Meantime, UB senior Ernal McKenzie and Laura Hurt, a civil engineering student at Delft, say they are appreciative for the experience and they are learning a lot from each other.
So far it's been good. Usually at university it's just really architecture students communicating and collaborating, but at least now we have a lot of different disciplines, so we get to learn from them and how they implement their ideas and everything into what we do.
So in the Netherlands we know what to do with floods. We are more familiar with them, and this is kind of new to the Bahamians, and we hope to at least help them a little bit with knowledge, but I think they can do a lot themselves too. Like, we are just here to really help them get this new problem sorted out.
Now, as a part of their study abroad program, those UB seniors will also be traveling to Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
The Rotary Club is one of the many NGOs that continue to provide invaluable assistance to Grand Bahama post-Hurricane Dorian. Today, all of the Rotary Clubs on Grand Bahama came together for a special meeting at the Ruby Swiss, where they received an update on the organization's Hurricane Dorian relief efforts. Area Governor Elizabeth Knowles says to date, the organization has received some $1.3 million.
100,000 here on the island and 600,000 through the Robbins Fund, through our district. They have helped collecting from Rotarians and districts in Florida and around the world. And we have been mucking, gutting homes, done mold remediation and giving supplies, and we are helping senior citizens to put up the sheetrock in the Hawksville area and Hudson Estate, Regency Park and other areas here in Freeport. And we are going to right over the bridge now. It seems like they have been a little forgotten over there, so we try to help out as much as we can. And in East End we have distribution centers in Freetown, High Rock, Pelican Point and McLeanstown.
District Governor Ray Williams thanked all of the members for their support since the passage of Hurricane Dorian.
Our first efforts were to get relief supplies over here, but that was at the front end. Then we've converted over into trying to help rebuild. And we're trying to find people who we can help get them into their houses, so it's a place where they can live again. And the work, and plus we've had a lot of NGO partners that have been exceptionally helpful, and I am just so proud, pleased, and humbled by what you people over here have done. So I wanted to come over and just say thank you.
Well, post-storm recovery and reconstruction efforts will be addressed by the Prime Minister at 8 p.m. tonight as he presents his first 2020 national address on ZNS radio and television. The Prime Minister is also expected to make a major announcement regarding Grand Bahama. Of course, we invite you to stay tuned.
Shashina, we are coming to you live from Signature Choices in the 17th Center. And let me just tell you that this next segment is for mature audiences only, so don't go away.